Hello. Welcome back to Poetry Lockdown. It's been a little while. We're up to day 407. Really thrilled about today's poet. Many of you who are followers of the series know her well, Deborah Keenan. I just realized thinking this year, I've actually known Deborah, had the honor of knowing her for 10 years now. It's about 10 years since I took a first class with her. She's had a profound impact on my life as a poet and as a person, as a teacher, as everything. Just an incredibly attentive and generous person. And to be honest, I know she's had that kind of profound impact on probably thousands of people. She's just this wonderful soul. I'm gonna get a little misty. I'm trying to read this poem of Deborah's like 5 times without crying. It didn't happen. So I'll warn you. Um, I also, before I read the poem, I also want to say there's this amazing um, reading that Deborah gave that I missed and then got a chance to see, thank God, on YouTube. As part of the Pancake Poetry Reading Series the University of Minnesota does. I really recommend it. And that's actually where I think I heard this poem for the first time. I might have read it and just it didn't hit me, but hearing Deborah read it in her own like calm, measured tones, like it just made it hum for me. So after you hear me try to do it justice, check out that link below. It's so cool and such a great interview too. So enough of the intro though, because many of you know Deborah. This poem is from Good Heart, which is a book, a collection of poetry published by Milkweed, I believe. And it's at least I didn't know this because I hadn't read this particular collection, but she wrote it I think just a year after her mother's death, and after the birth of a grandchild. That's what it said on Milkweed's website. So if I'm wrong about that, Deborah, I apologize. You can correct me in the comments. And so I believe this poem is for Deborah's mother. Um, and I think it's just with all the poems I've been thinking about loss with, I just feel like this is, I don't know, it's beautiful. So I'm going to read it now. And it starts with a quote from another poet. And Deborah is great at this. She always is in dialogue with this tradition, just all sorts of poets across traditions. I think her name is pronounced John GARRIGUE or GARRIGUE, I'm not sure. But that's what it starts with. I knew her once. She prays now to the smallest thing under the black brocade of pines. She prays for the wind muffled in them, for the fields in the shimmer of butterflies, for valerian, dianthus, columbine. She prays to pray, but cannot start. And that's John GARRIGUE, Studies for an Actress. Deborah. I knew her well and once and long ago. I knew her beautiful, wise, and angry. Knew her warm and kind and right. Knew her wrong and sorry and still. I knew her young and nothing's changed. Knew her small, a bird, a shipwrecked thing. Knew her well and not so well. Knew her broken as glass, strong as wind. I knew her holy, drenched and white. Knew what prayers she finally said. I knew her when sky was only sky. Knew her when her nerve flared and fled. She prays now to the smallest thing. I never see her anymore. Knew her well and not so well. Knew the pines and columbine. I knew enough to leave her there. Couldn't quite make it, Deborah. Yeah, so I mean, I love everything about this poem. I think one of the things that I love about this poem is Deborah doesn't write a lot, if you know her work, with this kind of like rhythm. Like it just like that struck me for its kind of like rarity within her kind of body of work, with it's like the regular rhythm of it. But the thing I think that really moved me was that the talking back with this, she prays now to the smallest thing, this dialogue of entering in to the GARRIGUE quote or poem, and then that applying to the grief that Deborah's feeling of loss. And yeah, the knowledge, the not knowledge, um, and then the leaving, the losing. Uh, I know I've said, I say to my students, like, show, don't tell. A lot of teachers say that. I'm getting better about saying show and tell. And I feel like one of the strengths that Deborah has in spades and she always said this in class, just like, don't be afraid of just naming it quietly and surely and precisely. And I feel like this poem names so many accurate, true things about loss and grief. For that, I love it. I love you, Deborah Keenan. You're an amazing gift in my life as a teacher, as a poet, and as a human being on the planet. So thanks for being you, and thanks for this amazing poem. Check out this book, Good Heart, and check out Deborah's pancake poetry reading. You will not regret it. Peace to you.